India is known as paradise on earth, and its forests make the country even more attractive and beautiful. These forests meet our innumerable needs, be it pure water, clean air, or medicinal plants. In Vedic times, a village was considered to be complete only if it conserved three kinds of forests, namely Mahavan, Shrivan and Tapovan. Indian philosophy of conservation is inspired by the Atharva Veda, which says, "Whatever I dig out from you, O earth, may that have quick regeneration again. May we not damage thy vital habitat and heart." Today, it is known as sustainable development. Similar philosophy was followed during the rule of Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, Sher Shah Suri, Akbar and Shivaji. However, Britishers started uncontrolled harvesting of our forests. But soon they realized that the important species like teak might almost disappear if such fellings continue. Thus started the scientific forest management in India, with establishment of Imperial Forest Department in 1864. Dr. Prentice, a German botanist, was appointed the first Inspector General of Forests, and on his recommendation, the Imperial Forest Service was constituted, which was perhaps the first organized forest service of the world. He believed that
forest officers in India frequently live isolated, far from immediate control of their superior officers. We therefore require men of high moral character, a good constitution, even temper, and superior abilities.
During the period 1867 to 1925, the 2 years training of officers of Imperial Forest Service was conducted in France, Germany and later in Britain. In 1926, the venue of training was shifted to Imperial Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, wherein it continued up to 1932. Consequent upon the enactment of Government of India Act 1935, the subject of forestry was shifted from Imperial List to Provincial List, leading to the end of recruitment for Imperial Forest Service. Later, the Indian Forest College was established in Dehradun in 1938 to train the superior Forest Service officers recruited by different provincial governments, which continues to provide its services as Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy. Assigning due importance to the forests, Forest Policy of 1952 aimed to maintain 1/3 geographical area of the country under forests. To achieve its objectives, the Indian Forest Service was constituted on 1st July 1966 as an All India service. The entry of women officers in 1980 was another milestone for the service, and these women officers are immensely contributing in protection and management of forests. Till date, the service has scaled many heights. Besides fulfilling the conventional objectives of forest management, it is also dealing with new dimensions such as climate change, protection of biodiversity, providing livelihood to forest-dependent communities, and use of modern technologies. Today, around 3,000 IFS officers and thousands of frontline staff are committed to accomplish these important tasks. The IFS officers selected by the Union Public Service Commission are trained at Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy to make them professionally competent. They are not only trained to understand the management of natural resources, but are also made proficient in other skills such as people's interface and good governance. The curriculum also includes physical training, weapon training and other required practical skills. After successful completion of training, the officers dedicate themselves towards the management of forests and other natural resources of the country. It is the result of the hard work and dedication of these officers that the forest cover of the country, which was 64.2 million hectare in 1987, has risen to 70.2 million hectare today. As per government statistics, contribution of forest sector to the national GDP is only 1.4%. However, the contribution of indirect benefits like provisioning of clean water, clean air, carbon sequestration and conservation of biodiversity is several times more than this. Conservation of wildlife is yet another challenging task. In 1973, Project Tiger was launched for the conservation of tiger. The concerted efforts of the IFS officers have helped the tiger population to grow from 1411 in the year 2006 to 2226 in 2014, which is about 60% of the world's tiger population.
I would like to emphasize that conservation of tiger is not a choice. It is an imperative.
Rehabilitation operations in Sariska and Panna to re-establish tigers in the backdrop of their local disappearance are jewels in the crown of wildlife conservation in India. Similar success has been achieved with respect to Asiatic lions, elephants and rhinos. Excellent work has also been carried out in conservation and breeding of vultures and other species. Forest resources are vulnerable to smuggling, poaching and encroachments. This makes the task of protection more challenging and dangerous. In this audacious task of forest protection, hundreds of forest personnel, including officers, have sacrificed their lives. Among such great martyrs, the names of Kirti Chakra, P. Srinivas and Sanjay Singh are marked in golden letters in the history of Indian Forest Service. To further strengthen the conservation, the 42nd Constitutional Amendment of 1976 brought forests from state list to concurrent list. This helped in enactment of Forest Conservation Act 1980, placing a greater responsibility on the service. The effective implementation of the Act with the efforts of forest officers has brought down annual diversion of forests from 1,65,000 hectares to mere 17,000 hectares. On recommendation of National Commission on Agriculture, a new forest policy was enunciated in 1988. This policy aimed at environmental stability and ecological security, besides fulfilling the needs of forest-dependent communities and their participation. To ensure people's participation, Government of India issued guidelines on joint forest management in 1990. The foundation of which was laid in 70s by an IFS officer in Midnapur district of West Bengal, widely known as Arabari experiment. Today, there are more than 100,000 joint forest management committees which are managing around 22 million hectares of forests in the country and benefiting 15 million families. This has resulted in empowerment of the weaker sections of the society, which is a substantial contribution towards the nation building. The service has also played an important role in the implementation of Forest Rights Act of 2006. India has a long coastline of 7,517 km, which is a source of livelihood for more than 3,500 coastal villages. Forest Service has helped in creation of mangrove plantations and shelter belts to protect the coastal areas from cyclones and storms. Marine life protection and turtle conservation are some of the achievements in this direction. India has earned global reputation in protecting the rare and endangered species, which has given a boost to ecotourism and has attracted foreign tourists. In addition to contributing towards the economy of the country, ecotourism has also provided livelihood opportunities to forest-dependent communities. Besides serving in state forest departments, the Forest Service officers are also holding higher positions in ministries of state and central governments and are playing an important role in policy making and good governance. The IFS officers have not only excelled in their own sphere of duty, but have also earned fame for activities such as Antarctica expedition, scaling of Everest, and receiving of Padma Awards, Kirti and Shaurya Chakras. Since its inception, the Indian Forest Service has been marching ahead despite numerous challenges, combating and mitigating climate change, resolving human-animal conflict, and achieving sustainable development goals are among the most daunting tasks ahead. Howsoever difficult the challenges may be, the high morale of the Indian Forest Service is determined to protect and conserve not only the forests, wildlife and biodiversity, but also committed to holistic development of the nation. You are the quiet men who do not boast, although you have done much more than most. Dear foresters, you have not toiled for fame or favor. Yours has been a love of labor. Our thanks instead of desert sand, you have given us this green and growing land.